Let me give you a quick hands-on demo of Caipi and how you as a developer can create and integrate AI functionalities very easily into your existing applications. So right now we're looking at the dashboard of Caipi, but for now we actually want to go ahead and create a new endpoint. Let's start with a translator. And so the instructions would be something like translate the input text to German. Next, we can design the request and response schema. So at the moment, we have a single parameter named input type string for the request and a single parameter output type string for the response, which is fine for now. Let's actually go ahead and create it. And if we open up the project, we can try the new endpoint right away. Hi, my name is Paul. And we get exactly the type of response that we would expect in a structured format. We can also see that the invocation cost 1 credit, that the execution time was half a second, and that we got a 200 status code back. And if we also enable payload logging, we can see the full request and response body here as well. So let's actually go ahead and edit the function. Let's edit a new input parameter, target language. And let's also adjust the prompt, translate the input text to the specified language and save it. And now we can see the new parameter showing up here as well. So let's again say, hi, my name is Paul, with the target language of German. And we get the same response as before. But now we have control over this parameter, and we can also say Spanish to get the translation in Spanish. And so this gives developers a lot more control and precision that they probably want when interacting with the programmatic interface and just feel, sure about what is actually coming back from the endpoint. We also have data validation built right into it. And so if we go ahead and remove the second parameter and send the request, we get a 422 error telling us that the parameter target language is currently missing. And these are the type of explicit errors that we want as developers. We want to have a clear understanding of what went wrong where. And Caipi gives us this possibility. But let's actually go ahead and create a new endpoint to do something a bit more advanced. Let's imagine that we're building a fitness application and we want to generate workouts for our users. So let's call this workout generator. And, just to keep things simple in the instructions, let's say generate a workout according to the provided information. For the request, we're going to rename the parameter to fitness level. We're also going to add a goal, and let's add a parameter for the number of exercises that we want back, which is probably supposed to be type number. For the response, we want to have a list of exercises. And so let's change this to area of object. The exercise probably has a name. Let's also say it has a intensity and a number of repetitions, which is probably also going to be a number. And so let's create this similar as before. Let's open it up. So let's say beginner, fitness goal, weight loss, and let's generate 6 exercises. And this is exactly what we get in exactly the schema that we expected. And if the language model would have answered with something that is not according to the schema we defined, we would have gotten, again, a validation error on the response. But let's say that this output for some reason isn't quite what we hoped. And so we can also go ahead and actually change the model from GPT 3.5 Turbo to GPT-4. And so let's make the same request. This is probably going to take a bit longer because it's a larger model, which is not quite as fast. And, on this example, it probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but this way we have more powerful models that we can also choose. We can see that this call cost us 3 credits instead of the 1 that we had before, and that it took more than twice as long. But let me actually show you one more thing, because so far we've only been navigating through the UI. Let's go ahead and copy the URL that we also get, which is the URL to the REST API. And so I'm going to post it here in my HTTP request tool with a post request. We can see the ID of the project together with an authentication key on the right-hand side, which we can, of course, also put into the header. And so in the body, let's paste in the same payload as before and do it from here. And so when we run the request, we get something that looks very similar to what we got through the UI, with all the same data validation and explicit errors that we would expect, which as a developer is probably what I want when interacting with these large language models. I'm trying to solve a very specific type of problem here, and I want to have full control over the data that I send there, but also what is coming back from the large language model. And we do hope that Caipi can help you with exactly this type of problem.